Fraud remains in focus in Minnesota by folks in it and outside of it. And while we have been reporting on the fraud plaguing our state for years, it's been in the last several months that we have seen more action from the state in efforts to stop it. Today, we got even more information. Here's Danny.
From autism services to recovery centers, KARE 11 has exposed millions of dollars in suspicious Medicaid billing over the years. Now, the Minnesota Department of Human Services has partnered with the third-party firm Optum to add a stronger layer of review over 14 Medicaid-funded programs considered at high risk of fraud.
We'll now have more eyes on the documentation.
With this review process now underway, State Medicaid Director John Connolly says all 80,000 Medicaid claims in these programs have been temporarily paused in the latest pay period so that Optum can look for red flags in billing. This process will continue to happen every 2 weeks.
To look at claims trends. So is there a concerning spike in service that doesn't really make sense? Or is there an escalation in billing?
Once the review finds that claims are legitimate, DHS says payments may be released within 30 days. But some providers say this delay in funding could be devastating, leaving them without the ability to pay staff or even operate.
It just doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense.
Nikki Hansen, who works at 2 autism centers in Minnesota, joined us by Zoom before informing staff about the pause in payments. She fears that many legitimate providers may have to close if they can't get the money faster.
There's going to be thousands of kids that are no longer going to have any services.
We asked the state Medicaid director about those concerns on a virtual press call.
Do you have any sort of expedited process for those that really do need the money and are legitimate?
I think that's a really good question, and certainly something we've heard from some providers as well.
John Connolly says he's aware that smaller providers could be especially vulnerable if payments are delayed.
We will work with Optum to work through this process as quickly as we can and release clean claims as quickly as we can.
If DHS and Optum do find questionable billing, the payments may take longer, or cases could be referred to the DHS Inspector General for investigation. Danny Spiewak, KARE 11 News.
How to crack down on fraud and yet keep the programs that are legit going? That's a big question we'll face in the future.